Greetings and peace to you all. This is Umi. Thank you guys for joining me for another video. And today I wanted to talk about worry. And worry is poisonous to the system, to the mind, to our emotional body, to our personal development and spiritual progress. However, it's a very real part of just the human experience. We tend to worry. We worry about various different things. You might worry about your next paycheck or, just keeping your job. You may worry about your relationship, your children, affairs of the world. There are a number of things that can really send us into a spiral of debilitating worry and stress and anxiety. And I wanted to just send this reminder out to many of you who are definitely working on yourself. You're working on your character, you're working on your personal development, you're working on just embodying the spiritual teachings that you've been learning over the years. And a part of that comes with our conscious awareness about how we're, sort of slipping into what the average person deals with who isn't aware, who isn't, on a path of self-discovery. So when you're taking steps and initiative to be more mindful, to, practice the things you preach, to have faith, to trust, to love, to exercise the fruits of the spirit. Certainly we don't want to be people who walk around worried and stressed. And did you hear about that? And oh my God, I'm not gonna be able to pay my bills. And we don't want to be those individuals if we profess to have faith, if we're operating in gratitude. But that's not to judge or to make anybody feel guilty. Certainly with children, I deal with my bouts with worry. However, again, it can be very damaging to us and damaging to our progress when we operate in a state of worry, when we invite unconsciously or consciously stress and anxiety into our lives. Worry can definitely have physiological effects. And this is one of the reasons why I want us all to be mindful about just how much we're consumed with worrying about things. And this can be a silent worry. Maybe people don't even notice that you're worried. Keep in mind that worry can definitely lead to, as I mentioned, physiological effects and symptoms. And if you're having any of the symptoms I'm about to mention, that's not to say it's simply attributed to worry. It could be some other health issue. So definitely get checked out. People often have symptoms that seem unexplainable. Sudden and abrupt migraines out of nowhere, inability to swallow, or having nervousness in the pit of your stomach, constantly being in sort of a fight or flight mental space. Some people experience sweating, dizziness, shortness of breath. Some people have, just a fear of being out in public and spending time around friends and family. So when you worry a lot, you actually limit and block opportunities to just live and enjoy life. You may even refuse certain opportunities out of fear of failure or fear of not being accepted or worrying about what other people think. There's a list of physiological effects. Certainly there are emotional effects to worrying, meaning that we have just a difficult time being at peace or smiling or enjoying ourselves or enjoying time spent around others because we're just worried about a future that may or may not even exist. So talking to a therapist for some people is necessary because their worry is as a result of trauma, something they've seen or witnessed or endured at some point in their life, and therefore they kind of are operating from a space of always anticipating something bad happening. This can be associated with PTSD or any other mental health ailment that is a result of something you've experienced. So in many cases, when you're dealing with trauma, it is necessary to talk these things out with a therapist or someone that you trust who can help to relieve you of some of the worry and stress that's often not founded on anything in reality. These are irrational fears that we kind of conjure up and create within the mind. Not for everyone. I don't know where some of you live. I don't know how hostile your environments are, or if you have domestic issues in your home, or if the actual fears you're facing are real. Living in worry is not the way to live. So you might need to make changes in your environment, adjustments in your relationships so that you're not constantly dumping the poisonous feelings and sensations of worry into your system day after day. Number 2, eat healthy, eat balanced. Foods that are high in sugar and fat and grease and all of that does not support the system. It does not support your brain. Keep in mind the brain is an organ and we have to give the brain what it needs. Healthy, nutritional, living foods. This greatly combats an overactive nervous system and feeling overstimulated, eating really heavy foods at night, and things that can just weigh us down emotionally, make us a bit stressed and irritable. So there are certainly many symptoms that come with eating poorly and having an emotional imbalance that shows up in your life as stress, anxiety, and worry is one reason why you need to check in with yourself when you're eating certain foods, especially emotional eating, when you're eating sweets and these things as a remedy to your worry. That's not the answer. Switch your diet and give it some time. See how over the course of 3 months or 6 months, your moods, your energy, your spirit, and just your overall well-being shifts when you're eating living foods. You won't feel as worried because you'll have a sense of well-being. Well-being is a mental and physical and spiritual combination. It's not something that's isolated. When you eat good, it's not that your body will just feel better. Your mind will feel better in many, many ways. So give it a try, be patient with yourself, and just take it one day at a time. Number 3, be mindful. Our awareness can greatly reduce our reaction to emotional stimuli or just things in our environment that can trigger us or cause us to react. When you're more aware, when you're more mindful, you can control and even adjust your response to situations where you find you're overthinking and you're really worrying. Perhaps that moment of like, you know what, why am I even stressed about this? Like, it's all good. Everything's gonna work out. Shifting your thoughts from negative, pessimistic, doomsday scenarios, all the images and things we create in our mind are often as a result of filling a void. That void from this moment to the unknown. I don't know what's gonna happen in 10 minutes from now. I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. But instead of filling that void of the unknown with thoughts of worry and doom and gloom and all the bad things that might possibly happen, I can certainly choose to be mindful and fill that void with all the positive and good things that may happen. So sometimes it's necessary to simply shift your thoughts to what is the best possible thing that can happen in this moment instead of worst case scenarios, because you'd be surprised how powerful your thoughts are, how powerful your speech is. So speak over your life, and in those moments of being mindful, recognize that this is you taking back control of your life and not being subject to just your mind playing tricks on you, your mind convincing you, especially since we're so programmed and heavily conditioned by media and the news to think a certain way. Seize back the control of your thoughts and remember that your mind is a very powerful tool in combating depression, anxiety, stress, and worry. So because we are so programmed and so conditioned to think a certain way, number 4 is critical. Meditate. Spend time in meditation and in peaceful and serene environments that you can embody the environment and feel at peace. You can feel calm. If you're leaving from a really hectic, busy, drama-filled workplace and then you're coming home to drama at home and you're trying to sort out your finances and worry about dinner and think about all of your responsibilities, it's really overwhelming to the system. So it's important that spending time in nature is not just some new age recommendation. It's quite literally our lifeline. It helps us to be grounded. It helps us to put things back into perspective and to recall what our purpose is. That life isn't about bills and taxes and tomorrow and our children and the world and all of these things that are happening around us. You have to come back to self, be centered, then we can better show up in life, not from a space of worry and fear, but from a space of self-control, mildness. Time spent in inner reflection helps us to know ourselves, and we know what environments we can handle and which environments we can't. So find a nice environment, whether it's something you've created in your own home, or you go to a garden or a park or to the beach or to the lake, or maybe you just need to sit in your car when you get off work and just take 10 or 15 minutes to do some breathing exercises. So meditation and these things can be very useful in drastically reducing just how much we worry and just how much anxiety we take on from the day. So lastly, and something that has proved very beneficial for me, is to exercise faith. Pray. Speak over your home. Speak over your children. When you do these things, even though you don't know the outcome of your prayer, but that's what faith is about. You know that you're putting in the work. Faith without works is dead. But when we pray, we exercise faith, we carry out our day and our life with a smile and gratitude and humility and gentleness. You won't be looking over your shoulder all the time, worried about things, worried about life. So whatever your faith is and however you exercise that faith, make it a daily practice. In moments when you're really worried and overwhelmed, instead of speaking out what you don't want to happen, instead of sinking into your fears, instead of worrying yourself sick, stop and pray. Stop and speak over yourself. Speak over your home, speak over your family, speak over the situation. And when I'm saying speak, I mean quite literally speak out loud. Give thanks for things turning out good in advance. Even though you don't know the outcome, celebrate that things are going to turn out well in advance. Speak positivity into your life. Speak a change of events or a turnaround of events. So you can word or structure your prayers, affirmations, and meditations however you please, but just implement these things that you know. Knowledge is only power when it's applied. So if you have knowledge of the power of word, if you have knowledge of the power of prayer, if you have knowledge of the power of meditation and time spent in nature and eating right, you have to implement these things and see how it starts to bear fruit in your life. Identify a tree based on its fruit. So what fruit are you bearing in life? Do people see you as the fearful one, the worried one, the panicked one, the one that's always concerned about this or that, or events that you can't control? Or do people see you as someone who's implementing your beliefs, implementing what you teach and preach? So this is very important in helping us to come back to center and to really rediscover wellness in our lives. So keep in mind that there's nothing new under the sun. Don't let life and world affairs and family and these things consume you. While you're here in the flesh, in this hour, honor it. Honor yourself. Operate in love. Be patient. Be peaceful. We have our good days and we have days that are a lot more challenging that we may consider bad days. But in truth, these are learning experiences. This is an opportunity to learn how it is that you respond and react. How it is that we respond and react to situations of high pressure or stress, or even just the anxiety that surrounds us. So at times, other people's worry can seep into our lives and our reality. Remember who you are, and remember that at any time you can pray over others or pray with others. You'd be surprised how that can shut a person up. Not trying to be mean, but it'll shut a person up when you say, you know what? Let's just pray about it. And then when you pray, drop it, let it go, move on to the next thing, keep it moving. And they can't do anything but respect that. A lot of times people will shut up because they have nothing else to say once you've spoken a word over their life and your life and over the situation. So take your power back. Don't allow worry to consume you and to affect your health. We are here on this planet now to do some very powerful and important work, and it's important that we practice the things that we believe, that we apply the knowledge that we know, and that we live according to God's will for our lives. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have an awesome weekend. I'm here on the Gulf Coast. We're preparing for a hurricane that's gonna come through, and in preparation for the storm, and a little bit of worry and anxiety was stirring up in my children, and I was like, you know what? I need to speak on this because it's a real thing and it can saturate, a home and an environment, and we want to make sure we're being mindful. So thank you guys again for tuning in. If you're interested in a one-on-one session with me, that information is in the description. And until next time, peace.